consequence of the Israelis, of course, going into Syria behind, of course, um, not, not Hamas, but Hezbollah. That particular, what I consider to be rebel or is considered to be
Oh, he feel he,
a
like
group,
he, I feel
a
he
terrorist
feel,
group.
I feel he
Yeah,
feel,
terrorist group.
I feel he felt that knowing Israel is within Lebanon and Syria bombing and going on, I feel he felt
Yeah.
that Israel might have targeted him
Well, whatever it is,
and run because is
what,
it all
what
right?
has happened
Yeah,
is
why?
that
Yeah, why?
all,
Is it
all
the
of the
army?
rebels are
Is it
now
the
in
army
there.
take it over? Take Usu take over him or something? Because the Syrian
No,
have the
no, no.
army.
We have Syrians who have turned rebels and continued, of course, to fight him in spite of the support of the Russians. Now, that clearly, when you look at the geopolitical scenario, there it means therefore Russia would have been humiliated because, of course, Assad had to flee, and of course they have their own conflict with with their neighbor there, and as a consequence, coming out, coming downstairs now. Come and meet me. Yeah. Andy, I'll have to, of course, but you know that is a humiliation. Let me just say this: a humiliation for Russia, because of course they were protecting Assad all the time, propping up his regime. They and of course Iran, and now of course the nationalist movement has taken over, among others. Turkey is now positioning themselves because they backed a particular group as well, and on the border, the Kurds, they are against the Kurds, and the Kurds would have been, of course, one of the groups that would have been fighting Assad. So, but he is out of the picture now. People are reading as what we saw in Bangladesh, and that other country that is just off South America, Sri Lanka. Yes, some seems similar to that, and so of course they will take some time to settle down.
Now it's
But of course, on the other hand,
1 minute
you
by
had,
the
of
time.
course, the Israelis moving in to treat with Hezbollah, and so so that's a rich mix of controversy and
Surrounding that
and
president, that former
kind of
president.
environment is developing. Yeah,
From
hellish
Poland.
kind of environment is developing there for Syria. I don't know how Syria will recover from that as a country.
All right. You go ahead and just check out the people by the time. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you, my economist friend.
Good morning, Andy.
What you have in store for us this morning?
I have a couple reminders and an important question following the fall of Assad. We have an election coming up shortly, whether it is in January, February, August. We have an opportunity to bring about the fall of our Assad here, for the ills, for all the pain, all the unfortunate destruction that we have seen. And I am urging Trinidad and Tobago to put country first and to come out and vote for the UNC government, a UNC government that has proven itself as one of the most democratic governments that we have seen in Trinidad and Tobago. The consultation process that has been taking place in the lead up to the budget of 2023 and 2024. The community meetings that have been taking place, we must not underestimate the importance of these things in building a stronger democratic society, rather than the tyranny that we have seen over the past 9 years, where this government has even failed to provide adequate explanations to this country and its people on the many events and the monies that have been spent. It's been inadequate and deliberately so. And unfortunately, we do not have a media that forces the hand of the government to speak openly and transparently. So we have a responsibility to the country. But in saying that, Andy, in saying that, I want to urge this country to demand election observers, because I fear that the autocratic Assad Rowley government that we have here will want to avoid having election observers. We cannot rely on the EBC only. We have had 2 events where the EBC has acted unjustly to not only UNC, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I will name those 2 events. One was the heavy rain when they extended the time for the voting process. That went to court, and the court ruled that the EBC acted unfairly and unjust. But the court did not have the powers to change the results or call for further elections. Secondly, was with the Tobago tie. Rowley went into Parliament and used a simple majority to change the number of the seats in Tobago, effectively instructing the EBC. We cannot, as a population, rely solely on the EBC as some independent organization looking after the interests of the people of Trinidad and Tobago and looking after our democracy. We must demand election observers. It is what saved Guyana. And I am begging Trinidad and Tobago to come out in their numbers, but in so doing, the unions, the teachers, everyone, and Andy, our show every day must make a demand for election observers. So thank you very much today. Have a blessed day, Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, my economist friend. Oh boy. Nice. Let's organize and continue those voice notes there. Let's continue those voice notes.
Hey, that person who called you and leave a voice with us sounds like really retarded. Hey, brother, if you have to leave a voice, leave it in a real voice now. Don't pretend. That's what's going on with you, that they like to pretend. All the TNM supporters who support against you only that side, they like to pretend. Well, leave a vote, but when you come and bite you, I don't already know if you talk about anybody, you come and bite you because you know. So come on, leave a good voice, brother. Later.
Let me just finish off.
Andy, good morning. This is Elizabeth. They start fixing the road by week, boy. So I'm happy now. I say let me let you know now.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth, for letting me know. All I remember the other day, about 2-3 months ago, I went on oh boy, always call that road again, and I was saying we have a new roads now, excavated roads. 1 minute we sow. And I say right foot, you're up there. Left foot, you're down so. And the road up so and down so with landslides and thing there, that back road, they how they call it, boy. All you know that road there, man. Some will see the video. Ooh, it is carried to Brazil. It is carried to, you could go to Arima from there, Shagona someday. You're passing through, oh God, what's the name of that road, boy? Oh boy. You take it from Londonville and you could pass on the, where the hell the name of the road, boy? I went on the road there, you know. All I know it. Tell me the road now. Elizabeth, give me the name of that road again there. You're going to Arima from that road there. And you could go to Shagona from that road, and you can end up Las Lomas and all them places. That road. Well, Elizabeth, tell me the name of that road there, and I'm happy that they start to fix it. I'm really, really happy that they start to fix it. Because I say Foster, Cummins, is either you're coming or you're going. Fix the damn road for the people. Fix the road. Well, look, Elizabeth say like they're fixing the road from this morning. Like they're fixing the road. They start to fix the road. All the way to the name of that road again, boy. Oh God, only know the video and I say, well, hey, oh my gosh. All right, let me just play a voice note by the time.
Morning, nobody here. Just tuned in, so I don't know what's going on, but I heard a message about Guyana and they would be putting sanctions on us. In effect, you know, or that there's some difficulty in trade between Trinidad and Tobago. But I've said for a bit now that our main business is oil and gas, like it or not. And we have a lot of the factories, right, that can produce petroleum products. Meaning they take the raw oil, the raw gas, and they make it into petroleum products. Everything from fuel to fertilizer and everything between. The only thing we don't do is plastic. But we have the equipment, we have the know-how, but we don't have the supply. Trinidad has, for X number of reasons, does not have a sufficient supply of oil and gas to feed those factories. And I've said, so, I mean, we have gone begging to Venezuela with all manner of complications and international, problems. Not the very least, we have a smuggling, we're smuggling Venezuelan oil, right? But beyond that, Guyana represents a very good option to solve our forex problem and in general our economic issues regarding foreign exchange and income. This country, like it or not, its income is oil and gas products. And I've suggested a pipeline. We have a lot of infrastructure that is off the southeast coast of Trinidad that is not too far away, 200-ish kilometers from Guyana. Well, Guyana's offshore finds. And if you could connect a pipeline to our infrastructure, the rest of it is already there to take it all the way to, would have been refinery and the trains and the industrial park, right? Okay, fine, some people say a pipeline might be a problem. I don't think it would be. But no problem, tank it. Use a tanker. It will be the shortest distance of anybody else who wants to use Guyana's oil and gas. We are the closest refinery to Guyana. That isn't, a problem. We would have an edge. And I've also suggested that being a CARICOM neighbor, CARICOM country, and Guyana being also CARICOM, means that Guyana should have enough clout to suggest to Exxon or anybody else who's mining their oil and gas that they want Trinidad as a partner.
They ain't doing that under Rowley. Rowley ain't showing that he's Guyana friend. Eh? He's showing that he is the friend of Maduro, and Ghana and Maduro technically warring. Eh? Rowley screw us. Let's continue. But before that, let me say a pleasant good morning to those of you that are locked on to us on Guile the Caribbean. A pleasant good morning to each of every one of you. Again, thanks again for choosing us right here on the Ground Report for next week, or next week edition, and many more editions to come right here on Guile the channel. So don't forget, let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. What's your current affairs? What's supposed to make news that not making news? What your brothers and sisters within the Caribbean supposed to know about what's going on in your region that we don't know. So welcome to each and every one of you, whether it's Jamaica, Guyana, St. Kitts, Nevis, wherever you are, Dominican Republic, wherever you are. Lock on to us on Guile the Caribbean. A pleasant good morning to you. Let me just finish that there.
Trinidad and Tobago's government chose Venezuela. And I firmly believe that Guyana is, putting that in our face now, rightfully so, that we chose Venezuela over them, but we chose Dragon. So, it's just another example, right? And if the people of Trinidad and Tobago had a...
If the people of Trinidad and Tobago had a what? If they had a what? Anyhow, let me just finish that voice. No day, nobody. Because you sound good. It's close by that pipeline, we tanker it. Is Ghana supposed to be our friend?
Let's say, I'm sure they would want this to be. That is Guyana we choose rather than Venezuela. But we don't have a say in our political system.
Okay, so we don't have a say in our political system. Anyhow, let me say a pleasant good morning to Mikey K. Mikey K, a pleasant good morning to you.
Morning to you, my brother Andy Pitbull Williams. Morning to Lennox Smith, our technical director, and everyone that's locked on. Guile family, good morning. Loud and clear?
Yes, loud and loud and clear.
Good. All right, good. You want to continue with the voice notes? I just want to pull up something here.
All right. Go
If you have it.
yeah, let me finish the voice notes and them there. Let me finish those.
All right, go ahead.
Oh boy.
Morning, Andy for Gandhi. This country really like bacchanal and fete, you know. You call all the people and them to come and protest the wrongdoings of this government, and only a handful of them show up. But them actually come by the savannah there now and see free fete. You see how much thousands of them come in there. Even a room for the people and them to stand up there. You understand? They all like it's fete. That's why it's good with the government doing people there. Let them dig out their eye. Let them cut their foot off. Let them raise prices high. Let them pick out all the forex. Let them raise all the bill, electricity and water rate high, property tax. Let them do all of that. It's good for them. They're going to study and sit down and talk and sort of stupidness and yap. But it's good for what they're doing. They want to take down what they're going to do. They want to sit down and watch.
Okay then. You want to sit down and watch. I'll just finish off those voice notes there by the meanwhile.
Nobody, after what Trinidad do to the oil-based economy in this country, you think Guyana want to have anything to do with them? They go take the expertise, yes, but they ain't going to follow Trinidad to end up in the same crap hole like that. We squandered away billions of dollars when we supposed to have a revenue and stabilization fund from the inception of the oil revenues. We didn't save a cent. We do like Norway and other countries who save up all the oil rent. Them and Dubai and all these other places. People saving up the oil wealth. We squander we own. You understand? Qatar saved all the oil wealth. And they only get oil the other day. We squander away all we own. We have nothing to show for it. It run through the country like a dose of salt. And we have nothing to show for it now. How about that, Andy?
Well, nobody here again. So, I don't say about the Syria Assad thing, so I'll throw in my piece. That's an extremely complicated situation. I don't claim to fully understand it, but what I can tell you is that hasn't been going on for 1,000 years, right? The kind of more recent episode of it is, well, Iran has been, well, the Iranian regime, being Shiite, has always tried to install influence in the Levant area and Western Arabian Peninsula. So it's Shiites trying to influence predominantly Sunni areas, and the Alawites are basically Shiites. The Alawite being the clan that Assad belongs to, and this is a ruling clan, and naturally the people, the majority, they are not being Shiite, have always rebelled, and last 10 years, about 600,000 people dead, right? Everybody talks about Palestine, but nobody talks about what has gone on in Syria. It's on a completely different scale. It's the most significant conflict going on in the world for the last 10 years, and nobody cares. But what has happened is basically, so the outside influencers, Iran, United States, Turkey, Hezbollah to an extent, and Russia. So the problem is, 3 of the people who were propping up Assad or otherwise benefiting him in some way are in great difficulty now. Iran has just gotten, what it got. Russia is in shambles, and Hezbollah, well, that's Just they're almost on the way out. So all the players, and it's about 200 players, people. This is not one group against the other. It is extremely complicated. And they saw opening, and the only thing that was been holding up Assad, and this is proof, is Russia and Iran, basically, militarily. And they did their moves. Assad, of course, had to flee. So that's the end of the Alawite regime in Syria. The problem now is all these different groups, including Al-Qaeda type groups, and it's the old Sunni versus Shia thing. It's 1,000 years that's going on. And then there are the Kurds, the poor Kurds. Everybody talks about Palestine, poor Palestine, but the poor Kurds. The Kurds are a landless nation for a very, very long time. And they are the butt-kicking post in the Middle East. Everybody treats them horribly, and they have a naturally rebellious and fighting spirit because of that. The problem now is, like it or not, one thing dictators do well is to keep everybody in line. Now, no dictator, everybody's going to come out of line and they're going to fight each other. The best thing that can happen to Syria right now is if they break it up into about 6 different countries to represent about 6 major-ish groups, right? Turkey is going to make sure that whatever happens, the Kurds are eradicated from their southern border. And that's beyond that, beyond the actual thing there now. Turkey is a member of NATO. And the US, who is involved trying to help the Kurds, are also a NATO country. So what is curious to me, what is going to happen to Turkey? There have been many examples of Turkey doing things they should not be doing within NATO. Would this be the straw that broke the camel's back?
Right, and nobody try to make it shorter. Please try to make your contribution shorter. Give me only 2 minutes admin, max. But try to make it shorter. Mr. Pleasant, good morning.
Yes, I mean, we kind of shifting there to the CNN report. But
Yeah.
if you can make it shorter, it would be a whole lot better. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. Mikey?
Yeah.
Mikey
You
said
got a
the
whole
CNN report.
BBC,
Yeah.
BBC, CNN, and that's good to know that, we have people who are focused on the geopolitical, global scene. But let's try to bring it back here. I know someone would have mentioned it, and yes, we have a lot of deep geopolitical global intellectuals on this program.
Like,
and
what would have
we're
been
thankful
good?
for that. But
What have been good is the geopolitics. What have been able to make up good geopolitics for us, and very interesting, is the situation with Guyana. And Guyana have real oil, and Trinidad, and you could have leave it within that line, so it come like it's still homegrown kind of scenes now. But let me go.
Well, I see we had a busy weekend. We had protest action. We had headlines. What does that mean
Pop down
for us?
action.
What's happening here?
Pop down action or protest action?
What kind of action?
Pop down, not saying nothing really. And leave no mark compared to when the ground report or the pushback or the stakeholders united movement. So when we organized and put things in place, obviously we wouldn't go there on a Saturday, we'd have nobody out there and look to deliver no letter to no guard or no wall or so the pop down march you're talking about.
Well, my good friend, my brother, I don't want to poke holes, or look for kinks in the armor of anyone, because I believe
But then if you don't let them know what time it is, they'll continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results.
Well, hear me out. As again, I don't want to look for kinks in the armor of anything, because at this point in time, at least if we are all on the same page, then that's a start. That's a good start. We all on the same page. Government must go, Rowley must go, they need to get out, they are blind, they're no good, we suffer, blah, blah. We know the whole narrative by now. Now, the effectiveness of our move should be strategic enough that when you move away from something in the sense that you fulfill a duty, you know to yourself that you send a strong message that
Yeah.
yeah, we ain't playing, we mean business, and it's time for you to call the date. And yes, I agree with you. I went there looking for a date. I didn't go there looking for a reunion. I didn't go there to say, well, hey, ground report or stakeholders. I went there with the hope of saying, hey, as of today, Monday morning, these are the policies that have to be met. Otherwise, our next move is this, that, and that. Prepare yourself. This is the beginning of what is going to be a very, very frigid and cool season. So I was looking to hear that. All right, so we had a rhythm section. Okay, all right. So
Ay, ay,
the
ay.
local cultural
William.
aspect was
All right,
there.
Homer, let's go.
We
Homer, let's
had
go. Ting,
people.
ting, ting. We must go. Ting,
Yeah,
ting, ting.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Well, I don't even think it
Yeah,
was along those
dancer.
lines. Just rhythm,
Rhythm
pure
section.
rhythm.
Yeah.
And you're correct. Looking at what the pushback meant to people, it is not time to step down from the level that you're at. You don't move down from being locked up, being threatened, being tear gas, to come down to say, hey, I'm going somewhere, not even the janitor in the building, and I intend to send a message. To whom? All right, okay, we got it. Again, I am not here to knock that. We got it. And there were people there, of course, hadn't seen in a long time. And everybody, of course, whatever their political affiliation, their social affiliation, how they felt, they expressed that openly. But what now? What now? I really and truly was looking forward to a statement based on a series of events that is to follow. What now? We have the narrative. We know what the objective is. We know the mission. We know what the assignment is. We know. We simply know. We just simply want to make sure that everybody is on board moving forward with that agenda and we each know exactly what our role is. That's it. We don't have time to play. People who were there said the same thing, echo the same sentiment. We can't take another 5 minutes, another 5 days, another 5 hours. We simply cannot survive another 5 years. Every single individual there agreed. Whether it be partner, whether it be party, whether it be comrades, whether who it be, we all agreed that is why we came there. We heard A, action, we heard A, protest, we heard A, gather, we heard A, mobilize, and we showed up as true patriots. What do we do next? That's the key issue. So
Well,
I agree with you, my friend.
well,
I did not leave home for a rhythm section. I left home to know that we go in and start, and we ain't finishing until the assignment has been completed. That's what I thought. That's very true. So that was one thing. And then what else we had? We had things being said about who's stepping down and who replacing who. I don't know why people don't seem to understand the definition of laser focus. I don't understand that. I think we had to change that to spiritual focus. Because you don't understand that being laser focused, you have to put what it is that you're focusing on, even in your prayers, regardless of what God you pray to, it don't matter. In that prayer, it has to be a component of you being laser focused. It's not about just being sidetracked and being derailed easily. Boy, I hear this, boy, I hear that. Oh God, what I mean? What I mean for Kamala, boy, was that? Were you trying to tell me that the PNM going into election without a political leader? That makes sense to you? That makes sense to you? Where does that make sense? How do I go in election without a political leader? Change who? Just so that has happened? Amy Brown was ever acting prime minister? Amy Brown was ever considered to be the Gary Sobers of this man? Amy Brown was ever considered to be the man to take over after he gone? So while they're falling for this nonsense, every bag that fall up the truck, all they're running to pick it up, you have to stay laser focused. And that is why we have issues today. Stop running after everything that fall up that propaganda truck. All of a sudden, from the headlines that we heard about Imbert and this magic report, that every time he addresses us, it keeps going up. All of a sudden, the headlines shift to something that is of no relevance. All of a sudden, I'm on a mainstream media outlet. Mainstream media outlet. Why? To deflect from what? Tobago and the terminal? What does it mean? I mean, this is not just about reading something, This is about the PNM saying, them 2 seats there, we basically losing it. And a man like Imbert, who knows exactly how to play the politics. You ever